Like, fuck bamboozled. I'm like bamboozled about this shit, bro. Like, this shit is crazy. This shit is wild. What? Where's the missing wife of Scientology's ruthless leader? What the fuck? This is crazy, bro.
Welcome
Can I
back.
watch 60
Over the
minutes?
years,
Ooh,
we've
I
heard
don't know if I can watch this. Oh, well, we on Twitch. But see, I gotta I gotta be careful, y'all, cause I don't know if I can. I don't know if YouTube will copyright me if I put this video up. See, you can fuck with other creators, but when you get to watching like 60 minutes, first 48, shit like that, it gets tricky.
In January 2008, the Church of Scientology made a...
We're gonna say that.
welcome.
Cause we gonna say this, cause we gonna do this. We gonna do this on a separate screen. How can we say damn? We just gonna have to go back. We just don't remember. Damn, yeah, we gonna have to do that like on
In January 2008, the Church of Scientology...
Fuck. Yeah, cause I don't want to get hit with copyright, y'all, for 60 minutes. I don't know. I didn't. And the only reason why I'm saying that, cause they done did me like that before, like twice. And then I like the second time I find it. The first time I was like, damn, that gotta be the reason. The second time I caught on, so I don't want them to. And I actually got a strike from that shit also, so I don't want to. Fortunately, I don't want to do too much pushing on that. I'm pretty sure we can watch Vice though. I'm pretty sure. Damn, but it's crazy because it's like, man, bro. Okay, let's see. Let's see. How can we celebrities? Let's type in celebrities. Let's type celebrities in Scientology. Everything you don't know about Hollywood's hidden Scientology. Oh, here we go. Now we getting a little saucy. Now we getting a little motherfucking saucy. See. Now when you start getting 2-hour videos, 2 or 3 hour videos, shit start to get real. Oh, that's what I did want to look at Tommy G though. I think this the video I had saved. One of the videos I had saved. Look at him. Talking about Scientology is a beautiful religion. I bet it is, my boy. Look, John Travolta. This is crazy, bro. This is the people y'all be looking up to, man. I'm telling you. This the weirdo y'all be looking up to. This my boy though right here. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Jim Carrey, that's my boy. I defend anything he got going on. He try to expose they stupid ass. They try to play like he crazy. He still expose they stupid ass.
Despite being a very small religion, the Church of Scientology has a disproportionate amount of celebrity members. Back in 2005, celebrity Scientologists were constantly promoting the church, literally jumping on couches and having viral blowout fights, all in the name of Scientology. But by 2006, something had changed, and celebrity Scientologists suddenly went quiet. Over the last 20 years, more and more celebrity Scientologists stopped promoting their involvement with the religion, and today, many refuse to discuss their membership at all. This has led to the general public being unaware of just how many famous Scientologists are scattered throughout Hollywood. And while
That's
many
right.
celebrities outright deny being members, there are even more that downplay their involvement,
Shit, man,
despite being
y'all just thought
incredibly
y'all was born in
dedicated
some
and
skull
loyal
made y'all ass
members.
stupid
And
and
on
fool.
top of the many hidden celebrity
Made y'all ass fool as
Scientologists
hell.
and the secret ones, there are also even more Hollywood stars entangled with the church despite not being members. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. The many celebrity Scientologists. We'll be talking a little about the ones you do know and a lot about the ones you don't. We'll also be exposing many behind-the-scenes stories about these celebrity members that have never been discussed publicly before, disclosed by on-set sources and unearthed by long-forgotten social media posts. We'll also be discussing the members given permission to downplay their involvement with the church, why Scientology pivoted its celebrity plans in the mid-2000s, and the many Hollywood stars the church allegedly poured millions of dollars into recruiting. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a snack, and let's dive in to the twisted, hidden, and secret world of celebrity Scientologists, the ones you know and the ones you don't. In 1953, L. Ron Hubbard founded the Church of Scientology. Hubbard was a science fiction writer who was quoted as saying, "If you want to get rich, you start a religion." He holds the record for the most published works by one author at 1,084 pieces of original work. But of course, today, he is much better known as the founder and leader of Scientology. Scientology is extremely controversial with the general public, and you don't need me to tell you that. But up until 2005, most people didn't really know much about the religion. They knew a lot of celebrities were in it pretty much. But in 2005, there was a lot of information that came out about Scientology, none of which was good. But interestingly, this information came from two very unlikely places. The first was a Today Show interview with Tom Cruise, and Today Show interviews are usually very light and fluffy PR, so celebrities can usually relax when they're being interviewed on the Today Show, and they know they're not going to get very hard-hitting questions. But in this interview between Tom Cruise and Matt Lauer, it actually went into a huge argument, and people very much saw a different side to Tom Cruise, and he talked a lot about Scientology and Scientologists' sort of hatred for medication, psychiatrists, and getting treatment for any sort of mental health disorders that people might have. He attacked Brooke Shields over her postpartum depression, and this interview did a lot of damage to the public's opinion of both Scientology and Tom Cruise. The second way in 2005 that people found out a lot of information about Scientology was even more unusual than a Today Show interview, and that was an episode of South Park. The South Park creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, really get a lot of credit as being the first people to put out mainstream information about Scientology, about its principles, its beliefs, and what its members spend millions of dollars and thousands of hours a year working towards. South Park really was the first place that most people were able to get a foundational understanding of what Scientologists believe, and these beliefs are, in my personal opinion, quite funny. But what's quite wild about it is that when this South Park episode came out, viewers, when they watched it, knew more about Scientology's belief than Scientologists who had spent a lot of money and time trying to move up in the church, because Scientology operates kind of like a secret membership club where you are only given certain information as you move up the ladder, and they call these levels operating Phaeton levels, and there's 8 of them, so you have to spend a lot of money and a lot of time studying to move up the levels. So there's people that spend their whole lives in Scientology and never get to the level where they'd learn about the aliens. Leah Remini has spoken about the millions of dollars that she gave to the church, and she also has talked in detail about the day she reached the
fuck her name is? What she said her name was?
Leah Remini has spoken about the millions of dollars that she gave to the church, and she also has talked in detail about the day she reached the level where she could be given the sacred Scientology information. And when Leah Remini was allowed to get this information, special allowances were made for her because she was a high-ranking celebrity. And that's one thing you'll hear a lot in this video, that Scientology celebrities are treated very differently. They are seen as the absolute top of the top in Scientology, and there's a lot of things that are done very differently to not only appease them, but treat them as even higher than a celebrity. Like, rolling out the red carpet doesn't even begin to cover how these people are treated in the church. In a nutshell, Scientologists believe that we are all Thetans, these immortal spiritual beings that are considered to be the true essence of an individual. They believe that each person is essentially one of these Thetans, and there's a whole thing about volcanoes and these Thetans being aliens that came 10,000 years ago, and these Thetans are living within us and have been through all our past lives, and they also continue to exist beyond us after we die. And essentially, these Thetans accumulate traumatic memories over all of these lifetimes, and that the whole idea of Scientology is that you try and clear yourself through auditing. And most people have probably seen the auditing e-meter. It's a type of counseling, and they use this device called an e-meter where it has a little dial on it, and you hold on to what looks like two tin cans, and it's supposed to be able to read something that you hold on to this and just spill all your deepest, darkest secrets, all your bad thoughts, everything that you can think of. And they also record these sessions, so they become basically pretty perfect blackmail material, and to know all the things that you wouldn't really want anyone knowing. And that's why it is so difficult for people like celebrities to get out of Scientology, because the church ends up having a lot of dirt on them. Over the years, while Hubbard was forming and leading Scientology, he constantly changed things. Some would even say he was making things up as he went along. And he certainly had a set of rules for himself, celebrities, and high-ranking members, and then another set of rules for everyone else. Hubbard always saw celebrities as a way to bring people into the church, and in 1955, just 2 years after he started Scientology, he launched Project Celebrity, which is very much alive and well in Scientology today. And Tom Cruise is the person at the heart of this Project Celebrity, and that's not because he is the biggest.
Fuck all that. You have selected. We will then allocate this person to you as your game. As your game? Having been awarded one of these celebrities, it will be up to you to learn. Here, what did it say? Wait, I lost track. To learn what you can about your query, and then put yourself at every hand across his or her path, and not permitting discouragements or no's, or clerks or secretaries to intervene. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? And then put your hand in yourself? In days or weeks or months to bring your celebrity into a formal auditing session and deliver an amount of good auditing necessary to make him much more effective and make him aware of the benefits of Scientology on the third dynamic. gonna tell you right now. The first half of that sounds very wild. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That shit sounds like for some type of fucking butt sex. I'm not gonna lie. That shit sounds very wild. Now the other half of that shit sound like you pretty much is a fucking bitch. You pretty much they bitch, bro. I'm talking about you pretty much they dirty whore. Like, what the fuck? I ain't nobody fucking dirty slut. What the fuck? You know, except for, you know, my wife or something. But, you know, we ain't doing no kinky shit. You know what I mean? No kinky shit going on. They sound like some kinky shit. That shit sound like way past Diddy. What the fuck? Oh, hell nah. They tripping.
At the heart of this project Celebrity, and that's not because he is the biggest celebrity in the church, but because he is the one attempting to recruit other celebrities to Scientology and also holding meetings with current celebrity Scientologists and chastising them for not bringing in more celebrities and celebrities with bigger name recognition. Celebrities serve as spokespeople, helping Scientology to appear more credible and appealing. But one of the biggest things Scientology offers people who either want to get into Hollywood or who want to become a bigger name is connections. And I would definitely say there are a lot of people in Hollywood, not just actors, but writers and directors that at one point did think about joining Scientology purely for the connections, the acting classes, anything like that, or even just being around other celebrities, because a lot of the time that is something that you really can't buy. But Scientology kind of flaunts itself as this great way to get connections in the industry. And it obviously doesn't really happen anymore because people are quite savvy about Scientology now, but I know a lot of people. I even just spoke to someone the other day who prior to 2005 said there was even a moment I thought about joining just because of the connections. But obviously after the mid 2000s, people started learning a lot more about what it was, because it wasn't just, oh, this quirky celebrity religion anymore. There was serious issues going on and horrendous things coming out in the 2000s and 2010s. We really started to learn about these horrible things going on behind the scenes. Scientology has always tried to recruit many young actors before they are known. People like John Travolta and Kirstie Alley. Scientology, as I said, has many connections in Hollywood, so they can help these people with their careers. They put on these acting classes and get a lot of people signed up that way before they have their big break. And that's also why there are a high percentage of successful actors that were raised in Scientology and whose whole family is in Scientology, because they are always trying to make the perfect Scientology celebrity. So from very young ages, these Scientologists and Scientology families get access to connections, to acting classes, to certain Scientology schools that
foot around saying what's really going on. These motherfuckers are psychotic.
Specialize in art programs, and it's why out of a very small religion you have people like Elizabeth Moss, Juliette Lewis, Giovanni Ribisi, and Danny and Chris Masterson. And all of those people that I just mentioned were all born into Scientology, or their families joined when they were very young, and their entire family are Scientologists still. If you've watched my channel before, you probably know that I've spoken a lot about Danny Masterson and the That 70s Show cast, and I think that this is an important topic that isn't covered too much. And there also is going to be even more stuff coming out, because in September of this year, there's going to be the civil lawsuit with Scientology, Danny Masterson, and Danny Masterson's victims. And I will do a video on that closer to the time. But a big factor that I wanted to do this video today is Danny Masterson's brother, Chris Masterson, who slides under the radar a lot, but has a lot of allegations surrounding him too. He is allegedly involved with...
They from That's So 70 Show, right? Both of them are. She is and he is. Facts.
has a lot of allegations surrounding him too. He is allegedly involved with Bryan Singer and a lot of that crowd of people. And as we speak, there is a revival of Malcolm in the Middle going into production. So Chris Masterson is going to be getting an enormous amount of attention soon. I've always heard that Bryan Cranston made sure that there wasn't any Scientology recruiting on the set, but there's even going to be a lot of the public watching this show who probably haven't stayed up to date with what's going on, or even younger people who don't know he's a Scientologist, don't know about the horrendous situation with his brother and Chris's alleged involvement with people like Bryan Singer. I will touch on the whole Masterson family a little bit later, as the other siblings also have entanglements with a lot of very famous people, like Hilary Duff, for example. So that family we'll discuss in a little bit. We'll discuss the That 70s Show cast a little bit too, as there's some information that I haven't previously covered, and a lovely subscriber reached out to me with some tidbits of information, as one of her close friends, who's also a celebrity, used to date Topher Grace whenever he was on That 70s Show. So there was some bits of information I hadn't heard before. But we are also going to cover people like Juliette Lewis, who, as I mentioned, I think it was in my last video, that I'm working on a video similar to my WB one that's going to be about a bunch of Showtime shows. And I had another lovely subscriber reach out who worked on a bunch of Showtime shows. So we're going to cover a lot of information in Yellow Jackets, Shameless, Dexter, The L Word that hasn't been discussed publicly, but we will go over a little bit of some Yellow Jacket stuff in this video whenever we talk about Juliette Lewis. But I first want to talk about someone who is getting a lot of attention right now because of the final season of their show, and that is Elizabeth Moss, who, whenever people hear that she is a Scientologist, it really stops them in their tracks because of the nature of the show that she's on right now and the character that she plays. Elizabeth Moss is currently an active Scientologist, and she was raised in the church too, and both her parents are Scientologists as well. She worked steadily throughout Hollywood in her teens and 20s, and then she got her big break when she was cast as Peggy Olson on the show Mad Men. Elizabeth Moss's character was seen as quite the feminist icon on the show. Whenever Mad Men started, she was a secretary, and the show is set in the very misogynistic 1960s. She works in an ad agency as a secretary, and then by the end of the show, spoiler alert, she has become a copy editor. So it was quite the feat for the character to rise up the ranks that way. This role sparks a lot of discussion about Moss's involvement with Scientology.
Innocent witch. That's what she look like. We gonna get back into that, man. We what, 40 minutes in? Man, I just see it keep coming. Look at this shit. Ex-Scientologist. That's a podcast too. So you know he's spilling some crazy shit. You know he's spilling some crazy shit, but we'll have to skip around just to find out when he's spilling his tea.